Hello, Privit. My name's Anna.
My name's Nick.
And
we are Hub Holos on behalf of CityHub Ukraine.
We're excited to welcome you to CityHub Ukraine's very first podcast. So why Hub Holos?
Well, Holos is the Ukrainian word for voice. We are active on other social media platforms. However, the hope and expectation of the podcast is to enable more in-depth discussions about the topics related to the Hub and its involvement in supporting Ukraine.
So if you're listening to this, you may already know about CityHub Ukraine, but if not, we're lucky today to have with us Anne, Stuart and Phil, who are founder members of CityHub Ukraine, who are going to tell us a little bit more about the Hub.
Well, we started at the very beginning when war broke out, and Roman Urachuk, he put a shout out for down at Netherfield, needed help loading some lorries. We helped him with that. It was chaos and it was madness, and that lasted a couple of weeks, and then he wanted to continue. So then we were lucky enough to find the hospital, City Hospital in Nottingham, and we started work there, and it's evolved, and we moved within that site, and now we're at Federation House where we continue with everything that we're doing.
So did you ever expect that you would still be going now?
No.
I mean, we just went down originally to volunteer for one afternoon.
Right.
And then it was obviously turned into a few weeks, and then we realised, this is bigger than we ever thought it was going to be, and more sort of important and needed to what we thought it was going to be, and someone needed to take the reins, and me being a bit bossy, like to organise things, control, just sort of took it on to get things organised at the city site. We did have another lady called Kate. She found the city site through a friend, the city hospital site, and then found me somehow on Facebook, knew that I'd been packing and everything down at the Colic venue, and asked us to go along to help, and that was on the 14th of March 2022, and then that's when we realised, this is needed, and someone needs to sort of get it organised. Kate did it for a few weeks, but then unfortunately had to step back due to other things going on in her life, so we took it on, and Phil was down at there was a Beeston shop at the time as well, one of Rob from the vape company, his shop that was empty in Beeston became a donation point, and Phil was there. But then one day he turned up at Minster building where we were originally at the at City Hospital, and just came to see what we were doing there. And we had seen Phil when we was at Colic at the place next door to Roman's office. But we never spoke. I remember seeing him, and always Phil with his beanie on.
That's the iconic look.
Yes.
And that was it. And Phil turned up one day, and the rest is history, as you say.
Not being able to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So Phil, why did you get involved?
Because Anne told me I'd got to.
What today? Not today.
I got involved for exactly the same reason. I saw somewhere on the news that this guy was in Colic, and he was looking for donations for 3 lorries that originally had got, when the war broke out, they were over in the UK, and their funding for fuel and stuff had been cancelled, and so they were effectively just stuck in England. As I say, Roman found these guys, went to rescue them effectively, looked after them for a couple of weeks while we loaded lorries, the first 3 lorries, and then, as I said, like Anne says, we stayed in Colic for a while, loaded lorries almost daily. I don't know where I was.
Loaded the lorries at Colic.
Oh yeah.
And then what happened? Where did you go?
Well, then we sent the lorries off.
Did you find Beeston after Colic?
Yeah, must have done. I don't know how.
Yeah, no, that's weird, isn't it? All these things happen and we can't remember how it happened.
I know, it's so long ago now, isn't it? That's the thing. I mean, I've only been volunteering for a couple of years, and the reason that I volunteer is because I was born here, but my dad was Ukrainian, and I've still got family there. And for me, it's about sort of my dad and helping my family. But have you all got connections to Ukraine in any way?
Nothing
I
at
don't
all.
think any of us have.
No.
Did you know any Ukrainians? Did you know there was a Ukrainian community in Nottingham?
No.
We knew nothing.
We've lived in Nottingham for 10 years, and probably in the first year we lived here, there was a Christmas fair in Sherwood, and we went down, and it was in what is Clawson Lodge, the Ukrainian Culture Centre. And at the time, I can remember looking back now thinking, Ukrainian Centre? What's that? What's that all about? But we went to the Christmas fair. It was nothing that it was somebody had rented it, to run the fair. We just enjoyed the fair, and that was it. Never thought of it again until the first time 4 years ago sometime, I went back there for some reason. I thought, this is where we went to the Christmas fair. But I'd never thought, didn't know any Ukrainians, didn't know anything. We just knew what was happening in Ukraine as was wrong. And we wanted to support. And then when you obviously see all the pictures on the TV of all the mainly women and children trying to get out of Ukraine and to safety, we just wanted to help. And when you've been in Europe, literally on our doorstep, you want to help everybody anywhere in the world. But when it's so close and so, sort of threatening our freedom and existence and whatever, it's
Well, I was so shocked as well that there was another war. After the First and Second World War, I couldn't believe there was another one. And this guy, Putin, was going into a sovereign country, and doing what he's doing. And I was just disgusted in it. So that's how I wanted to help these brave, strong people to keep going.
And I think that's the main thing to remember is that, for me being here, the thing that's really stood out is just the sense of community, and not just, from the Ukrainian people, but people from all walks of life coming together and pulling towards the same goal for something positive. And it does feel like a family. We all have our own little jobs and areas where we get on. We all see each other, we help each other out, we have conversations.
No, exactly right. And it has become like that because now it has got more personal, because obviously over this last 4 years we've met so many British Ukrainians like yourself, Anna, and Nick. And then obviously all the Ukrainians that have come over here as refugees, and that we've helped to look after one way or another, whether it's helping out, getting things for them for their homes, or helping them with hospital appointments, or just being a friend and support. So it's become more personal now as well, because we know so many people.
But also all the people we don't know and will never know. But we're so happy to be able to send them some food, a generator, clothing, whatever, to these people that we'll never see, we'll never meet, but we know we've helped them.
You're just doing the right thing.
Yeah,
and that's what
just
people
being human and helping other
about
humans.
humanity, doing what is needed to be done in the world when there's so much, tearing us all apart. This whole organisation is about bringing that back together.
The sad thing is that's not the first time this has happened in Ukraine.
No, we know there's a big history
learned
of it.
so much. I was aware of what happened 2014, but I didn't really take a lot of interest. I knew that something had gone on, but I've learned so much more since then, and then even.
But it goes
way back in
further
history.
back to after the
I've learned
War,
so
people
much
being
more.
displaced there one way or another.
Mm.
People, sort of like my dad and a lot of his peers, everyone's got their own stories, some similar, some different, who, ended up in the insurgent army, coming through Europe and ended up in a camp in Rimini in Italy. And then they were all shipped over to England.
But I mean, that's another thing. I think it's something special about especially you three is that, you know, you've become so invested in, you know, the culture, getting to know people, getting to know every aspect of Ukrainian traditions and life and all that, and you didn't have to. You've got nothing to make you do that, or, you know, heritage, etc. And, you know, having people who were born here with no connection, but you're helping spread awareness of something that's completely foreign to you, literally foreign to you, you know.
I mean, I know that some of our volunteers at the hub, it's not the first time they've lost their home. You know, one of our volunteers is originally from Crimea and moved to Sumy, and then has moved from Sumy. And then another one, she'd already lost her home and then lost it again, moved to Lviv to be with other family members, and then came over here. But I think the hub serves a real purpose for those people. Not only is it a community, they get to meet other people, but they also feel as though they're doing something for the war in Ukraine. Some of them, I know from speaking to them, have felt guilty because they're not there and they're not doing stuff there. And you have to remind them that actually you are doing something really useful.
That's right.
But they also know that if they're struggling with something, you know, maybe things are really bad in their city, that they can talk to us.
Like with Anne, she's been to the doctors with people, so that she can translate, but also kind of hold their hand, as it were. And Anne will do that for any, you know, the ladies, and you know, it's really good. So we help them lots of ways, like that. You know, looking for apartments, whatever. You know, we'll help them with anything. You know, or furnishing that apartment. We'll take stuff over to them, and, you know. So we're just there to help them. You know, it's.
I mean, I can only imagine what it's like if, particularly as an older person, you're leaving your home behind. You can only take so much. You're leaving family and friends. You may have family on the front line, and you're coming to a country that you've never been to before.
Having to start from scratch.
You know, you don't know the language.
I can't imagine it. Even though I've heard so many of their stories over the ones that will open up about it over the last 4 years, it still blows my mind that one, this is happening, and two, just how would I cope in that situation? I don't know.
You know,
And just the fact that, you know, it messes with my head just thinking they're living like this dual reality life. So what's it doing to them? You know, which I know a lot of struggling. Psychologically,
all of those things.
Yeah.
The thing is, you know, it's sort of like my dad's generation. They came over here, they settled, they got jobs, and then they started to build a Ukrainian community from scratch with nothing.
And it almost feels like this is almost like a second wave of that.
It is, because it's reinvigorated the cultural sense.
I mean,
definitely.
You've talked about before that, especially maybe with your generation, you know, it wasn't quite as strong in terms of the community as, you know, your dad's generation.
Community.
That's right, because they came over to
they had to build it
from scratch,
and then slowly, sort of through the years, it's maybe waned off quite a bit.
Yeah, with the younger generation.
And unfortunately, it's taken such a tragedy, not even a tragedy, criminality really, to build it back up again.
Well, it's like we say, you know, we have great friends that are Ukrainian, and we personally love that, but we know it's at that cost of we shouldn't know them. You know, this should never have happened.
100%.
But we're grateful that we know these people, but it's so sad that we do, you know.
You have to.
It is, and I think both the hub and the cultural centre have different roles. The cultural centre, they are getting more of the cultural side of things. They can carry on with the singing and the music. They can do schola for the kids, and all of those kind of things. And then we do the other side of it, where we're doing a lot of practical stuff to help Ukraine.
Oh, that's right. Our main reason for being there is to collect donations to send to Ukraine, and of course we're still doing that. Lorry
And that's all kinds of donations,
67
isn't it?
just around the corner.
Gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been to the hub, and there's not a moment where it's not absolutely chock-a-block
I know,
with someone working their
Well, we're like
bum off, you know.
We're literally full again, aren't we? We've
Yeah.
just left it today,
Yeah,
and it's full
yeah.
again, and it was only empty 2 weeks ago, and it's amazing the support we're still getting from Nottingham.
100%. I was just about to say that,
Yeah.
that's a credit to all of you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and a credit to the community
Yeah,
that's
that's
been
right,
built.
And I mean, just
And
the other day
further
I went to
afield.
Huddersfield and collected 8 hospital beds from a different group. They couldn't get them across, so they said, do we want them? There were thousands of pounds, loads of the medical mattresses with them as well.
Yeah.
So they're now up in our the yard, ready to go over,
Yeah.
onto the
And
next
it's
lorry.
good because we do, and when we started the Facebook group that started in the July of 22, I then realised there was other groups going on around the country, so I just connected with all of them, and we've all sort of helped each other out over the years, different things, either asking questions or sharing aid or sharing sources of aid if there's a lot somewhere, then which is really good, and Tim in Huddersfield has helped us out a couple of times, and we've helped him out a few
we drove
times
up
with
there with a load of aid one
medical
time.
stuff, and that's really good to see it still happening. And now,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few groups that have gone because they either haven't got the support or can't do the funding or whatever, but there's still
Some groups come to us, don't they? Some of the
yeah.
smaller groups.
Oh, that's right. Because
Yeah.
just today I've had a call from the Peterborough group again. They've always sent 2 lorries out a year. They send a summer one and a Christmas one, and they had quite a bit left over a couple of months ago, or just after Christmas, from their Christmas one. So they brought that up to our yard, and that went on the January lorry or whenever it was. But he's just phoned me today again saying they're not doing their summer lorry this year. I can't remember why he said, but they still want to do an appeal and collect things. So they're saying if it's okay with you, we'll let us know what you need, and we'll put an appeal for it, and we'll bring it all up, and it'll be like a 20-foot container's worth of, that's normally what they collect. So we've got them supporting us even more now as well. So and there's groups from Boston in Lincolnshire, Saltburn, Leicester. Well, just last weekend the 3 of us went to Shackleton in Leicestershire to collect from the lady there who part of a ladies group, and she collects from all the villages around that area, and have done for the last at least, well, they've been bringing it to us for probably nearly 2 years, haven't they?
Yeah.
Because they used to send to the Ukrainian centre in Leicester, but they stopped sending aid over again for whatever reason. So she wanted to continue, so they found us and bring it to us, and we come back with our little van full of all food and toiletries, and then Phil's car was full of clothes.
Everything basically, food, medical,
Hygiene.
hygiene,
They're like the
hygiene.
top 3,
Yeah,
aren't
that's
they?
right. They're the main
Clothing.
things.
Yeah.
Clothing, and they're the main things. But especially lots of food. We don't get enough food. Medical generators. If anybody's got one in the shed that they don't want anymore, we'll have that, please. Thank you. We'll have it looked at.
Toiletries.
Toiletries.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. So
Baby
anything
care.
you can imagine that you need.
Maybe like electronics as well, like torches and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Headlamps,
right.
stuff like that.
That's right.
Obviously things that are going to be
Yeah,
you know, useful.
even computers, because they can use them for
100%.
other things. Yeah, that's right. Take them apart and use them for other things.
Yeah.
Lots
So-
of sleeping bags,
Yeah,
sleep
loads of
mats,
sleeping bags.
and we've been sending the odd sort of tents and things like that, and then even more so through the winter we sent tents because a lot of people were then using them in their houses because it was so cold.
Yeah,
The
it's
minus
20 something,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Nice.
So some
27,
people
I
then
think.
in their bedrooms or their main living space were then sleeping in a tent within their house to keep things a bit warmer. But if anyone's ever in doubt what to send us, then just can
Bring
give
it
us a
in.
ring and
Yeah.
we'll have a
Or
look.
just bring it in and we'll have a look
that's
and
right.
make
Yeah.
our own decision. Just
Yeah.
bringing anything
That's
in
right.
is better than nothing.
Yeah, that's
so.
right. Or look
That's
on
right.
Facebook.
Yeah,
obviously.
always update
Yeah,
the main
100%.
needs and what we don't sort of need at certain times. So
Okay. Just one particular point, which I think some people don't realise. Everybody who sort of is working at the hub we're all volunteers.
Yeah.
No one
Yes.
gets paid for
No.
anything.
No,
We just
absolutely
give
not.
our time
Yeah.
because we want to do that.
Yeah.
And we sometimes give more time if it's needed
Yeah.
for lorry loading or whatever,
Yeah.
and for events.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
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 And whenever we go up to Alfreton in our car, whatever, it's all our own fuel. Some people were under the impression that myself, Anne and Phil got paid. And
Yeah.
like I said, we've never been paid.
Yeah.
It costs us money, and that's
Costs us
fine. That's
more.
our donation. It costs us a lot of money, but it's our donation to it. And so nobody gets paid.
Yeah.
And all the money that goes to, say, hiring a van sometimes to take stuff up to the lorry.
But the
And
main,
if we have to buy anything, say a few weeks ago we bought, I think it was 4 generators. So that was with money that was donated. It was desperately needed.
but
we
most
sent
of the
them over.
funding is from, goes to fuel
Yeah.
and to pay for the lorry to go over, which is sort of £3,700 or whatever.
Wow.
But considering the amount of, we've got about 16 tonnes of aid in
Yeah.
each lorry, worth tens of thousands of pounds perhaps sometimes, especially when we've got things like the hospital
Yeah,
beds
It's
and
worth the cost.
vehicles. Always send the 2 vehicles on.
So I'm
which-
assuming that you perhaps don't get enough money through money donation. So how else do you manage to raise
well,
money
as you
to
say,
do
that's
it?
events, and that's anything from, of course, we had a Latin evening just before Christmas, and you've got another one just early, 10th of April.
10th of
Yeah.
April.
We had a lady that skydived.
Oh
once.
yeah, someone else here,
Yeah, I
sitting
wonder
amongst
who
us
that
here,
was.
I don't know.
skydive, yeah.
Coffee mornings.
Yeah, that's
Coffee
right.
Yeah, the coffee
Yeah.
mornings,
All
and then
sorts.
Yeah, a young
Yeah.
man that did.
Christmas fairs.
A young man that did the climbing.
Yeah.
Indoor
Oksana's
wall.
son, John Stevenson.
Yeah, he raised.
And then with
Quite a lot of
the
money.
regular quiz night at the Vale that Julie and Paul host, and
Flea markets, boot sales.
anywhere we can. We
Any-
go
yeah.
for just a social thing once a month or so at Steve's Bar in Mapley for with our friends. It's just a breakfast bingo sort of social.
Nice, it's a bit of fun.
And then I thought, I could do a raffle here. So now they expect it. They don't
Yes.
like it if because
Yeah.
often it's
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It's
that
Thursday.
just shows how
Yeah.
how much of an impact it has on those
And
people.
it's
It's
often
just-
on a Thursday. I couldn't go last 2 weeks ago because it was lorry loading and I was obviously there. So
But we'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, everyone misses
That's
it when
brilliant.
I'm not there with the raffle. But yeah, we'll be there tomorrow. Yeah.
yeah, that's brilliant.
So anything like that, and football event coming
Yeah.
up that Taz organises. So
Yeah.
we've got that on the 3rd of May.
Which hopefully I'll be playing in.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'll play.
For the second year.
Yeah.
So we've got lots.
We've
yeah,
got another
got
coffee
quite a
morning
bit.
coming up
Yeah.
in May,
Mm-hmm.
and a line dancing event
Oh,
Yeah.
in June.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so just
Oh,
to
can I just say something
Yeah.
about events? It's not just us that do the events as well. Other people do events for us.
for us, yeah.
Like our dear friend that we've sadly lost recently,
yeah.
Maria Kerr.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
She did so much fundraising with her church and
lovely
local
lady.
community in Eastwood. And when she found us sort of 2.5 years ago, she just started all her coffee mornings and things she did at her church. She would raise money and bring in money for us to go towards the lorry fuel, etc. And then we did a lovely event with her last September at the Eastwood Church, and she organised it, but it was for us, and we
Yeah.
had
That's
a
amazing.
craft table there,
Yeah,
didn't we, as
I'm
well,
sure
and
it's
some bits
great.
and bobs, and
Yeah.
that was just brilliant. So and there's other groups that do little coffee mornings. I know
Virtual running.
that's
Yes,
right.
yeah,
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 that's right,
Maggie with
virtual
all.
run.
Oh yeah, Maggie with
Yeah.
that and her actual running.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Maggie Sims. So yeah, there's other people not even connected with our hub. They perhaps just support us and bring donations in, but then they'll
Come with their own ideas.
come up with their own ideas.
It's
and
brilliant.
Turn up with
Yes,
them.
that so
Yeah.
many people are doing
That's right.
that
Mhm.
who've got no connection to
Yeah.
Ukraine
And
whatsoever.
Yeah,
especially
hopefully-
in their own spare time, they've
That's
got
right,
work,
yeah.
they've got jobs,
Yeah.
Yeah, commitments or whatever.
but
Yeah.
it
And
shows
perhaps
how
it
much they
will
care
be good
about the cause.
to hear more from them perhaps in future
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
sessions.
thanks for sharing all that information
Thank you very
with
much.
us. Hopefully it'll give people an idea, if they don't already know, what the hub's about,
Yeah.
all the things that we actually do. So moving on,
Well, through our podcasts that you're going to be hearing from now on, we're going to introduce you to some of our lead volunteers and the occasional guest from wherever sort of they may be. But in the meantime, you can find us on Facebook.
You can also contact us by phone on 077 147 83114 or email us at cityhubukraine22@gmail.com. And if you want to bring any donations in, we are now at Federation House on Claremont Road, just off Hucknall Road. Please pop in and see us. We'd love to meet you. Join us next time for more Hub Holos.